Not every raging bull that's left the gates of Sant'Agata Bolognese has lived up to the legend of Lamborghini. For every poster-worthy icon like the Miura or the Countach, there have been a few missteps. Cars that either underperformed, aged poorly, or simply failed to deliver on the brand's promise of exotic excellence. But when Lamborghini gets it right, few things in the automotive world compare. The company's best models aren't just fast, they're art, violence, and theater wrapped in carbon fiber. Owning a Lamborghini, when you choose the right one, can be an emotional and rewarding experience. But make the wrong choice, and you might find yourself knee-deep in repair bills, waiting months for a part, and wondering why you didn't just buy a Ferrari instead. Let's start with the misfires, 3 Lamborghini models that looked the part but brought more pain than pleasure. The Lamborghini Jalpa, released in 1981, was supposed to be a more accessible and practical entry into the Lamborghini family. It was the successor to the Huracan and Silhouette, and came with a 3.5-liter V8 instead of the fire-breathing V12's Lamborghini was known for. The idea was sound: create a baby Lambo that could take on the Ferrari 308 and Porsche 911. Unfortunately, the execution didn't land. The Jalpa was plagued by poor build quality, electrical gremlins, and a driving experience that felt more Fiat than Ferrari. It had awkward proportions, cheap-looking interior plastics, and wasn't nearly as fast or refined as buyers hoped. Worst of all, it never truly felt like a Lamborghini. It lacked the wildness, the drama, and the outrageous design language that defined the brand. Today, the Jalpa might carry some retro charm, but it ultimately serves as a reminder that not every smaller Lamborghini is a wise investment. Another disappointment came with the Lamborghini Espada, specifically the Series 3 from the early 1970s. Now, in theory, the Espada should be a fascinating classic, a 4-seat GT car powered by a V12 engine, offering both performance and practicality. And in some ways, it is. The Gandini-designed body was polarizing, but undeniably bold. But owning one? That's where the trouble begins. The Espada was notorious for its bizarre ergonomics, overheating issues, and notoriously finicky electrical systems. The visibility was laughable, the air conditioning barely worked, if at all, and the maintenance costs could make a Countach look affordable. On top of that, the car's chassis tuning didn't match the expectations of its appearance. It handled like a barge, the steering was vague, and the gearbox felt agricultural. Most Espadas on the road today are either in desperate need of restoration or have been babied by owners willing to pour obscene amounts of money into keeping them running. It's a car that promised Lamborghini luxury, but mostly delivered headaches. Then there's the Lamborghini Urus, a car that splits the enthusiast world right down the middle. Yes, it's fast. Very fast. The 4.0-liter twin-turbo V8, borrowed from Audi and Porsche, makes it the quickest SUV in the world. It's comfortable, it's tech-packed, and it sells like crazy. But here's the problem. It just doesn't feel like a Lamborghini. While it's been an undeniable financial success for the brand, the Urus is largely a rebadged Audi Q8 underneath. The soul, the madness, the raw, unhinged experience that used to define Lamborghinis is absent. It's also incredibly expensive to maintain and depreciates far faster than the true exotics. Some owners have reported early issues with electronics, infotainment glitches, and suspension problems. And unlike Lamborghini supercars, which can hold or increase in value, a 5-year-old Urus may end up being just another used luxury SUV with astronomical upkeep costs. It's not a terrible vehicle, but for purists and long-term owners, it's not the Lamborghini experience they signed up for. Well, thankfully, Lamborghini has more hits than misses. When the company leans into its DNA of wild design and thrilling performance, the results are simply impressive. And a few models, in particular, stand out as truly brilliant choices for those who want to own a piece of the bull and not get gored in the process. Let's start with the Lamborghini Gallardo LP560-4, particularly the 2009 model. This arguably was the car that truly brought Lamborghini into the modern era. Earlier Gallardos had charm, but the LP560-4 refined everything. Its updated 5.2-liter V10 was powerful, responsive, and far more reliable than the high-strung V12s of old. It looked stunning but not overdone, and it was the first Lambo to feel genuinely usable as a daily driver. The all-wheel drive system made it more stable, the e-gear transmission was significantly improved, and the overall driving dynamics were balanced between aggression and control. Importantly, the LP560-4 benefited from Audi's influence, but in a good way. It brought much-needed reliability and build quality to a brand long criticized for inconsistency. Today, the 2009 Gallardo LP560-4 offers one of the best blends of value, performance, and exotic pedigree in the used supercar market. It's a Lamborghini that won't constantly break your heart or your wallet. Then we have the Lamborghini Huracan Evo, especially the 2020 model. If the Gallardo laid the groundwork, the Huracan perfected it. The Evo wasn't just an aesthetic refresh. It introduced real mechanical improvements that transformed the car. The rear-wheel steering, updated aerodynamics, and recalibrated traction systems made it feel sharper, more alive. It kept the naturally aspirated 5.2-liter V10, now pumping out 631 horsepower, but made it more responsive and emotive than ever. The interior became a genuinely luxurious space, the infotainment finally felt modern, and the chassis balance was so refined that even novice drivers could explore its limits. What makes the 2020 Huracan Evo a standout is its ability to deliver both the insane performance Lamborghini is known for and the livability that makes you want to drive it often. It roars, it dazzles, it hugs corners like a race car, and it still manages not to fry itself on a hot day in LA traffic. For modern supercar lovers, it's the sweet spot. But if you want something with raw heritage and collector-grade potential, look no further than the Lamborghini Diablo VT 6.0, specifically the 2001 model. This was the final and most refined evolution of the Diablo before Lamborghini transitioned to the Murcielago. The 6.0-liter V12 was smoother, more powerful, and made it to a chassis that had finally matured past its unruly early days. Built under Audi's watchful eye, the 2001 Diablo VT 6.0 had tighter panel gaps, improved reliability, and a level of polish that had been missing in earlier versions. But it never lost its edge. The design was timeless, muscular, low-slung, and intimidating, and the driving experience was pure Lamborghini, loud, mechanical, and emotional. While earlier Diablos were thrilling but often crude, the 6.0 VT struck the perfect balance. It's now considered one of the most collectible Lamborghinis of the modern era, and prices have been rising steadily. It's not the easiest car to drive or maintain, but for those who want an analog monster that still has some refinement, the Diablo VT 6.0 is one of the finest bulls ever bred. And then we arrive at the Lamborghini Aventador SVJ, the ultimate form of the brand's flagship V12 platform. The 2021 model represents everything Lamborghini stands for: brutality, drama, noise, and presence. The 6.5-liter naturally aspirated V12 screams all the way to 8,500 RPM, delivering 759 horsepower without a single turbo in sight. The all-wheel drive system is brutally effective, the active aerodynamics work seamlessly, and the car grips corners like a machine designed for the apocalypse. The SVJ is not a car for subtlety. It's big, it's loud, and it makes no apologies. And that's what makes it great. Unlike many modern supercars that have leaned into quiet luxury, the Aventador SVJ remains defiantly old school. No hybrid gimmicks, no downsized engines, just raw mechanical theater. It's the last of a dying breed and already considered a future classic. Values have held strong, and for those lucky enough to drive one, it delivers an experience few cars can rival. In the world of Lamborghini, not every car is a bull worth riding. Some models fell short of expectations, either due to technical flaws, identity crises, or simply aging poorly. The Jalpa tried to be accessible, but ended up forgettable. The Espada promised elegance, but delivered drama of the wrong kind. And the Urus, while quick, feels more like a business decision than a passion project. But when Lamborghini taps into its core values, insane styling, spine-tingling engines, and an unapologetic sense of occasion, it creates machines that aren't just cars, but events. The Gallardo LP560-4, the Huracan Evo, the Diablo VT 6.0, and the Aventador SVJ all prove that when Lamborghini gets it right, it creates legends. Owning a Lamborghini is never going to be cheap or easy. But pick the right one, and it could be the most exhilarating experience you'll ever have on four wheels. If you found the video useful, be sure to hit the like button to support us. And here is another video you'd like.